Okay, this one is, when Ben pans over, you're gonna see it's along a long edge of a big CRP field. This is like 19 acres of CRP. Long field edge. This big oak we've got a stand in. It's a great spot. We hardly ever hunt it. We just hung the stand last year, and we had a camera on the base there, and we got a ton of videos of deer, but they run through here. And we've got a food plot. He's planting it right now. So the food plot is like within 40 yards probably of the stand. And then we've got another stand on the other side of that food plot, and the total food plot is probably about 3/4 of an acre. But this edge is just a natural corridor where they travel. They come up out of bedding on this side of this hill, come up and they work up into, we've got big food plots in here. So this one's not real big, it's 3/4 of an acre. The other side has got about 4 acres of beans. And then we're gonna put some brassica mixes in there as well. So we've got water holes over there. So this is just a natural funnel that they take along this edge, and they work their way to those stands. I want to stop them in front of this stand and get a picture or video of them. So what I'm going to do is, it's pretty, we usually mow this, but the deer have been using it and it looks like, we may come through here with a mower and mow the trail. But what I want to do is, I want to change the way this looks, so I'm just going to use the machete. I'm going to open up a circle maybe 10 feet maybe max around, and I'm going to put the licking stick right in the middle of it. It's a visual thing, they're going to see it. It's a smell thing because we're going to cut all this fresh stuff. And then when we come in here, if we mow this trail, which we probably will before the season starts, we'll mow through here, and I'll make sure that we mow around that licking stick, so it's like a stick in the middle of an open yard is what it's going to look like. So to start it out though, I'm going to do it by hand. So I'm going to take this area and I'm just going to hack everything on. Do the same thing. Get down into the surface of this dirt a little bit so that we're not right on the topsoil and that black dirt. So a little claw hammer works really well for this as well. A little tougher soil up here. Almost a little bit of a gravel sub base. Drop that in. Drop the second one in. Make sure you slide this out of the way. Tighten that up. Cover that back. That's nice and tight. Now we look, see what we can find for a little sapling. Let's see that diameter wise. How to plant. So, might be a little bit big here, but it might be right about here. I'm gonna cut it. Now, if I cut it there, it's still probably tall enough. I might push it down just a little. It's not quite as nice as that other saw, but I'll make it work. Now this takes a lot of trimming, but diameter looks good. Just about. I'll have to trim just a shade, just a little bit. There. Again, I'm going to try to see how this thing sits. You can see it's quite top heavy. So let's get this tightened up and I'll start trimming. Look at that top heavy. It's probably about the right height. I just have to get these branches off. That one. This is obviously a real green popple. Softwood I think the deer really like. They seem to really rub them up. So you can see how quickly that straightens out when you get all that weight off of it. Actually stands pretty good. I like the amount of stuff up on top. I'll leave these because they're not going to add any weight to it, but I will put scent on them. So they'll just act as a holder of scent to start out with. Trim this. I actually like the way that stands. You can always come back to vertical. You can take some of that abuse. That was just naturally dead, I guess. So that's perfect. I like that. I'm gonna come back. So now let's scent that up and we'll be out of here. On to the next one. So you can see once you get your spot picked out and find the tree, the rest is pretty easy. But I like to dribble it from the top, have it run down the main part. Pretty liberal with it. The more surface area, I think the better scent wise. I will put some up in here, drip some on the leaves. Again, this is an area that we know deer come down. This isn't going to draw deer from hundreds of yards away. We know they're coming through here. We had camera here last year, had a ton of videos. A lot of them running by, going into that food plot, coming along this edge. So now, made it kind of clear. So when we mow this, it's Wyatt's farm, and when we come through to mow it, Wyatt and his dad mow a lot of this. We usually mow a trail, and what'll happen is when we come in here, we can probably just buzz around this to open that area up, right? Like, it's wide enough. If he drove over, obviously you don't want to drive over it with the mower. If the mower's not engaged, you could drive right over the top of this and it'll just pop back up. You can do it with an ATV or whatever. But as we mow the trail, we like to do that because the deer will use it. And I think we would just make a pass around it, and then this tree stands out even more. You can see my weed whacking it by hand is not quite the finished product, but it definitely will get their attention and they'll see it. So this is kind of coming up. Your dad talked about maybe mowing this anyway because all these little popples popping up. So if we did mow, maybe we mow this brush down, and then all of a sudden this one really stands out. So that would be something that, even if you didn't have a tractor with a mower, you could come in here with a weed whacker and you could weed whack a spot just to change one area. It doesn't have to be a lot. So on to the next.